It was pitched as a people-friendly liquor policy. The idea was to curb alcohol consumption, shut down private liquor shops, and run all retail sales through a state-owned corporation, APSBCL, that is Andhra Pradesh State Beverages Corporation Limited. To the public, it sounded like a noble experiment in social reform. In reality, it became the perfect breeding ground for one of the most audacious corruption rackets in recent history. The brilliance of the scheme lay in its structure. Policy changes legalized monopoly, manual approvals legalized favoritism, and shell firms legalized laundering. Every layer added deniability. And with monthly targets in place, alleged to be 50 to 60 crore every single month. This wasn't a scam, it was a business model running on political muscle and bureaucratic complicity. Behind the facade of regulation and welfare, a meticulously crafted system was in motion, designed not to reduce liquor consumption, but to turn the state's liquor trade into a black money machine. The recently filed CID charge sheet lays bare the shocking details of how politicians, officials, and private suppliers colluded to siphon off hundreds of crores in kickbacks, all under the garb of policy. The first masterstroke was monopolization. By eliminating private retailers and bringing liquor sales under a single state-owned corporation, APSBCL became the sole buyer and distributor of liquor in Andhra Pradesh. On paper, this was to curb bootlegging and regulate prices. In practice, it centralized absolute power in the hands of a few officials and political appointees, enabling them to manipulate every stage from procurement to pricing to distribution. Earlier, liquor procurement in Andhra Pradesh operated through an automated order for supply OFS system developed by CTEL, which allocated liquor stock based on objective parameters like demand and performance. This ensured transparency. Brands received orders on merit, and there was little scope for manipulation. However, the system stood in the way of the kickback model, so it was deliberately dismantled. The CTEL software was scrapped, and the automated process was replaced with manual allocation, giving officials and political appointees absolute discretion to decide which brands would get shelf space and in what quantities. This single move changed the entire game. If you wanted brand stock, you had to pay. With manual control, the liquor trade became a closed pay to play system, laying the foundation for the multi-crore scam. Once the automated OFS system was dismantled, approvals became a political tool. Take Bagpiper, a household name. Its classic premier whiskey was virtually erased from shelves, while a new clone, Bagpiper Gold Reserve, suddenly dominated the market with 8.67 lakh cases sold. Why? Because it was priced at 1759 per case instead of 696, a jaw-dropping 152% hike, netting the supplier a windfall of 92 crore. Most of that extra cash, investigators say, didn't stay with the company. It flowed back as kickbacks. The liquor scam didn't operate on vague promises. It ran on precise math. Every extra rupee squeezed from inflated prices had a purpose: a portion for the supplier, a slice for political bosses, and a steady stream for middlemen. Here is how it worked: inflate the basic price. That is, instead of raising the MRP, which would increase tax and benefit the state, the suppliers and officials hiked the basic price. This was the price APSPCL paid to the supplier before taxes. By doing this, the government's excise share stayed the same, but suppliers' margins ballooned overnight. For example, the popular bagpiper primary whiskey, which earlier sold at 696 per case, was replaced with a similar sounding brand, Bagpiper Gold Reserve Whiskey, priced at a staggering 1759 rupees per case. This created a price difference of 1063 per case, an inflated margin that became the base for generating massive kickbacks. When this inflated margin was multiplied by volume, the scale of the scam became evident. APSBCL's manual order for supply guaranteed massive stock allocations for the new brand, with 8,67,900 cases ordered at an extra 1,063 rupees per case. This resulted in a staggering wrongful gain of 92.25 crore for the supplier, a windfall that served as the foundation for systematic kickbacks. This formula was replicated brand after brand. The extra margin wasn't entirely retained by the suppliers. A pre-decided percentage was carved out as kickbacks. Witness statements cited in the charge sheet reveal that these cuts were systematically divided. 50 to 60% of the inflated margin went to politicians. But why would consumers buy these premium clones? Because they had no choice. The government systematically suppressed popular brands by restricting their supply. APSBCL warehouses simply stopped stocking traditional brands, forcing shops to push the new high margin clones. With the retail shops under the control of the government, the state run system became a controlled funnel, ensuring every drop sold lined the pockets of a powerful nexus. During 2019-24, the liquor trade in Andhra Pradesh was reshaped to favor newly created local brands linked to individuals associated with the ruling YSRCP. Two key companies, Adan Distilleries and Leela Distilleries, were at the center of this operation. Adan Distilleries floated without owning a single distillery, operated through leased units, and pushed its flagship product, Supreme Blend Whiskey, securing massive orders for supply from APSBCL. This brand alone generated 732 crore in sales between May 2020 and December 2022, with estimated kickbacks of 135 crore paid to the liquor syndicate. Similarly, Leela Distilleries, which also lacked production infrastructure, reported a business turnover of 454 crore between June 2021 and March 2024 by aggressively promoting brands like Brilliant Blend Whiskey, Daru House Brandy, and British Empire Premium Brandy. Leela is estimated to have paid 62 crore in kickbacks. This preferential treatment came at the cost of driving out popular national brands, creating an artificial monopoly for these politically connected firms. The scam didn't end with inflated liquor prices and kickbacks. It needed a clean way to move thousands of crores without raising alarms. And that's where shell companies and Hawala networks came into play. Once suppliers pocketed inflated margins from liquor sales, the extra money had to vanish from official accounts. Enter a web of Mumbai based shell firms with flashy names but no real business. Olvik Multiventure, Kripati Enterprises, Vixo Enterprises, among others. For instance, companies like Olvik Multiventure and Vixo Enterprises, shown as marketing service providers, were found to be mere fronts with no operational offices or legitimate business activity. Investigators discovered that these firms were registered under fake directors, operated out of rented spaces, and their GST filings were bogus. They issued fake invoices for marketing and logistics services that never occurred, allowing inflated liquor margins to be disguised as legitimate payments. Once the money passed through the shell company Maze, it moved into Hawala networks. One of the most intriguing aspects of the Andhra liquor scam is the use of gold as a vehicle for bribery. According to the CID charge sheet, several distilleries and liquor suppliers, especially politically connected ones, adopted this covert mechanism to move illegal funds to decision makers. Here is how the gold kickback mechanism worked. After securing inflated basic prices and large orders for supply for their liquor brands, companies generated massive surplus margins. Rather than risk transferring these kickbacks through banking channels, which could create a digital trail, they converted the excess into gold. The process involved withdrawing cash from these inflated earnings and channeling it to gold dealers across Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, and Mumbai, who in turn supplied gold bars or jewelry matching the bribe amounts. This gold was then discreetly delivered to political intermediaries or stored in lockers controlled by trusted associates until it could be liquidated. The gold purchases were made from reputed jewelry outlets to avoid digital trails. Among the key merchants named are Mohanlal Jewelry, Chennai, which received about 6.33 crore from Adan distilleries. Sri Padmavati Jewels, linked to transactions worth an astounding 107 crore from Tilaknagar Industries. These purchases were often covered with legitimate GST invoices to give a facade of legality, while in reality, the gold was converted into bullion and delivered to political intermediaries. This clever laundering route made it nearly impossible to trace kickbacks once the gold changed hands or was reshaped, creating a discreet yet highly efficient channel for bribery. The CID documented multiple WhatsApp chats and ledger entries showing coded references to gold deliveries like 5 kg sweets delivered or wedding gift packed, which were later decoded as bribe payments in bullion form. According to the charge sheet, Aadhaar Distilleries allegedly routed a significant portion of its 135 crore kickback through gold purchases. Based on sales and witness statements, the CID estimates that the liquor syndicate collected an astounding 3,570 crore in kickbacks between 2019 and 2024, based on a structured rate per case system. The investigation revealed that Andhra Pradesh sold 27 to 30 lakh cases of liquor and 7 to 10 lakh cases of beer every month, creating a vast ground for kickbacks. Kickbacks were fixed per case based on brand pricing. 150 rupees for low-end brands like Southern Blue, 9 Horses, Andhra Gold. 200 rupees for mid-tier brands like Daru House, Royal Palace, Brilliant Blend. 350 rupees for premium brands like Mansion House, Royal Stack. 600 rupees for top shelf labels like Teachers, 100 Pipers. For brands in the lowest price slab, that is up to 120 rupees, 61 lakh cases attracted a kickback of 150 rupees per case, totaling about 91 crore. In the 121-150 rupees slab, 6.50 crore cases were charged at 200 rupees each, generating 1301 crore. For the 151-300 rupees slab, 5.70 crore cases yielded 1996 crore at 350 rupees per case. High-end brands priced above 300 rupees carried the steepest kickback, 600 rupees per case across 30 lakh cases, adding another 180 crore. Together, these figures expose a meticulously planned scheme that siphoned thousands of crores under the guise of liquor scales. According to the CID and a statement cited in the CID charge sheet, this syndicate functioned with military precision, and the alleged ultimate beneficiary of this 3,700 crore kickback network was then Chief Minister Y. Jagannath Reddy. Statements from key witnesses, digital evidence, and financial trails suggest that a significant portion of the funds was funneled into YSRCP's war chest. CID notes that the scale and consistency of the kickbacks point to centralized political oversight. What makes this scam truly audacious is its sheer sophistication. It wasn't a simple bribe for license scheme. It was a complete capture of an entire ecosystem: policy, procurement, pricing, and retail, engineered to divert public wealth into private hands. Every mechanism of governance was bent to serve a single purpose: to generate black money on an industrial scale. As the CID unravels the layers, one thing is clear: this wasn't just a liquor scam. It was a state-sponsored heist dressed up as reform.